All right, if you follow me on TikTok, you know that I have been on a serious Korean food kick lately. So I'm gonna show you another Korean recipe. Well, it's not a Korean recipe. It's inspired by a Korean recipe, but made into like a super easy snack. If you're not following me on TikTok, I don't know what's wrong with you. You should follow the link in the description box because there's tons of amazing recipes over there as well, and dog content. I don't know how much you guys love that. So, hi guys, I'm Candace the Edgy Veg, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. If you like vegan food that's delicious, give this video a big thumbs up. And if you have any recipe requests, you can leave them in the comment section down below. So like I said, I have been on a kick for veganizing different types of Korean foods. I don't know what started it. I think it was a combination of like corn and cheese and mayo on something. Oh, in my ramen. That's what started it. And I just kind of lost the plot from there and like did a deep dive into different types of Korean recipes that use that. So today I'm gonna show you a super easy, like not very time consuming at all snack that is absolutely delicious. And if you want to serve it to a crowd, it looks like it took forever, but it totally didn't. That recipe is Korean sausage bread. So it's kind of like a sausage roll meets like a sweet bread meets cheese and corn. There's so many traditional Korean sausage bread recipes that I definitely think you should try with the original dough. And I'll leave a couple examples down here. And my easy version will also be in the description box. And I'm so excited because today's video is sponsored by Kaivel. This is my amazing Kaivel air fryer. It has an app so you can, work with it remotely. You can do it from your living room. You can put it in and like set it and forget it. I'll get into a little bit more on this guy and why I love it so much later on in the video, but we're gonna be cooking today's video in my air fryer. So this is by no means a traditional Korean sausage bread recipe. There are some key differences that I use to make it a little bit easier, just because that's what I was craving. So usually the sausage is wrapped in like a really sweet breaded dough, or sweet bread dough, not breaded dough. Instead of that, I'm going to use puff pastry just because it's almost always accidentally vegan. It's easy to find. You don't have to worry about letting anything rise, making the dough from scratch. Which, like, I love making the dough from scratch, but sometimes I want things really quickly. So for convenience sake, we're going to use puff pastry. Of course, for the cheese and the mayo, of course, those things will be vegan. I'm still using sausages. They just also are vegan. And instead of egg wash, I'm going to use a sweetened plant-based milk, and that will also give us that like sweet crispiness that you would get from a sweet bread. Now, the topping that you kind of put in the middle of the sausage bread is the typical combination of all of my favorite like Korean foods, which is mayo, cheese, and corn. So we're going to add vegan mayo, vegan cheese. I'm using mozzarella. Traditionally, that's what's used. And then white onions. I'm also going to use garlic. There isn't normally garlic in this recipe from as far as I could tell online, but I love garlic, so I add it. And then I'm just using like basic vegan mayo. I'm going to add the mayo. You can use just normal vegan mayo. I've also done this with QP mayo. I have a recipe for that. You can use that as well. Garlic, onion, corn. Mix that together. And the mayo is really just here to kind of bind it all together. And then the cheese. And you can just use whatever vegan cheese is your favorite that's like mozzarella style that you know will melt. The melting here is key. Now when that's all mixed together, I'm going to add some green onion. In the actual mixture here, I like to use the lighter parts of the green onion, and then I like to use the darker parts of the green onion for garnish afterwards. It just looks really pretty. And then once that's all mixed together, you can set that aside. All right, so if you can find puff pastry sheets, that's amazing. You have less work to do. If not, you can just flour a work surface. And we're going to do 4 of these. So you just want to divide your dough into 4 even pieces. But what you want to do is just roll this out so that it's a little bit longer than your sausage. And just keep adding flour if you need to. But you want it to be at least longer than the sausage by like an inch. Then you want to take your sausage. Then you can just go ahead and cover your sausage completely. You want to do your best to get rid of any seams. Massage it. It's not going to be perfect because it is puff pastry dough, but do your best. Kind of work it, pinch it. Now it's not really like tricky, but it definitely was hard for me to write out for the blog post. What you want to do is take a knife, a sharp knife, I like a serrated knife. You wanna slice the sausage completely, but not the pastry completely. Does that make sense? You wanna do about 1/2 inch slices. I just find a serrated knife is the best for this. So if you can see the sausage, but not all the way through the pastry. And you want them to be like 1/2 inch-ish apart. Once you've done this, you kind of want to take, alternating left to right, take each slice of sausage and kind of like twist it and lay it down. So we'll start with the left, lay it flat, twist, lay it flat. So it almost like reminds me of like a pull apart bread, twist, lay it flat, twist, lay it flat. There we go. So it kind of reminds me of like those plants that have like leaves down all of the branches. That's kind of what it'll look like. Press it flat. And then very carefully transfer it to some parchment and do that with all of them. So now we want to do our version of like an egg wash. I just like to use plant-based milks. Soy milk, oat milk is my favorite. You can use sweetened for this because we do want a little bit of sweetness there. If you only have unsweetened, just add a little bit of maple syrup. I'd say like 1/2 tablespoon to 1 tablespoon per 2 tablespoons of milk. Very lightly brush the milk onto the puff pastry and only the puff pastry. If you get too much all over this parchment, it's going to burn. You don't want to do this with anything like oil because it's going to dry out. Now, we're going to top it with our corn and cheese mixture and try to focus kind of in the middle as best as you can. It's going to go everywhere. With your clean hands, of course, move that around. If anything kind of falls off, pick it up, stick it back on there. All right, so you can bake this in the oven, but I don't like to preheat the oven for just like a snack or something small. I like to use my Kyvel air fryer instead. So you just wanna pick up by the parchment and place it right into the air fryer here, one on each side. And then this step is completely optional. A little drizzle of ketchup all the way across. I like to do one with ketchup and one without. You know, variety, it's the spice of life. Here we go. And then stick this in your air fryer and cook it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 7 to 8 minutes. Okay, so temperature, we're gonna do, all right, so 350, and then timing, we are going to do just 8 minutes. All right, so this is a great time to tell you about our sponsor, Kyvel. This is my Kyvel AF600 air fryer. This thing is amazing. I love that it has a window so you can see what's going on inside of it, which my previous air fryers have not had. It also has an app which you can use as a remote or preset cook times and temperatures using the app completely. So it's over 100 pre-programmed recipes. So it's all kind of, I mean, you can do it here, but you can also do it on your app if you want to. It's 6 quarts, so it's a larger one. So if you have a family, this is a great size for you. I've had smaller ones in the past, which is great for 1, maybe 2, but definitely getting a lot more use out of this one. It has multi-function presets, so you can, you know, throw in whatever it is, but if it's a sausage or French fries, and then you can select the preset right there and just cook and go away and come back when it's ready. All right, so we just got the beep and oh my goodness, that looks amazing. All right, so there you guys go. Delicious, easy. It's like a easier Western version of sausage bread inspired by Korean sausage bread. Definitely try it. I think you will absolutely love it. If you want to learn more about the air fryer that I used today, you can check out the link in the description box down below, as well as codes, so you can save yourself a little bit of money. Thank you so much to Kaivel for sponsoring today's video. And if you have any recipe requests, leave them in the comment section down below. So good. Oh my God, this might be one of the best things I ever made. Do yourself a favor, make this. Let me know if you have any recipe requests. If you love this recipe, give it a big thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next time. Bye.